Hello, and welcome to So You've Become an Online or Blended Teacher, Now What? A series of short videos with some tips and starting points for teaching grades 8 to 12 online. These videos are intended to be watched as you like in any order that's useful for you. I'm Elizabeth Kauser, and this series of videos is a project in my Master's of Education in Blended and Online Teaching and Learning at Athabasca University. This is the first episode, a series introduction. Whether you're an experienced classroom teacher or recently out of teacher training, it's unlikely that you've done much online teaching. During the COVID-19 shutdowns in 2020 and 2021, most education moved online, but that was emergency remote learning, and it wasn't a real exposure to how online teaching and learning are supposed to work. The expectations from the public and sometimes from school administration and management seemed to be that if we could teach in a classroom, well, automatically we could do this online. That was a bit of a leap. My husband, who's a bus driver, put it this way. I drive a bus, he said. I pick people up at set points, operate the vehicle safely, and drop the people off at set points. On the surface, that's the same job a charter helicopter pilot does. But if there was an emergency and I was told, oh, just do what you always do your best, here's a helicopter, you have 2 days to figure it out, it'd be a disaster. So we were given a helicopter and asked to drive bus routes, but we made it. Classroom and online teaching are different at many levels. They require variations on the same skills and some different techniques. Here are a few of the major differences that this series is going to talk about. First, you should know that online teaching requires a lot more planning time. Best practice in online teaching requires teams of instructional designers and other experts to develop the entire course so that everything is in place before delivery of the course begins. While classroom teachers often have our courses, units, and lessons outlined ahead of time, we're also a lot more responsive to and flexible with students' needs as they arise. And we weren't given the time to set up our entire curriculum with interactive elements before this emergency online teaching took over. Also, it can be harder to see students struggling online. A lot of identifying which kids are struggling has to do with their body language and their general demeanor. It's almost an unconscious process for teachers. We see these things and head over to check in, and that's harder to do online, whether you're in a giant Zoom meeting with everybody's cameras off, or whether you're running your class asynchronously so nobody's online at the same time. There are also technology issues. Many teachers don't feel confident in their tech skills, but most of us have what we need to be effective online teachers. Students who choose online learning are prepared with devices, internet access, and expectations and skills for online learning. That preparation means that students who are committed to online learning will often be really successful. Students who are forced into online learning, not so much. And it's the same with us teachers. Time management and boundaries is another issue. Education that happens in one place during set hours makes it easy for teachers to cut off student access at a given time. We say, come and see me at lunch, not come and see me whenever you feel like it. Say 8:37 this evening while I'm in the middle of dinner and heading out to a movie with my husband. Some teachers are afraid that online students will expect personal responses to questions 24/7. And some online school administrators are afraid that online teachers will sit around all day doing nothing. As professionals, we can manage this work-life balance with a few tips and tricks. That's going to be one of the subjects of the videos. So what is blended learning? I've talked a lot about online. Blended learning is just learning that takes place partly in a classroom and partly online. There are a lot of different ways that this can work depending on the grade level of the students, the teacher's comfort level, the purpose of the activities, and so on. Blended learning potentially offers the best of both worlds, so it's a great thing if we can do it. Altogether, there are 12 5 minutes or less videos in this series. The topics are listed here. Each of the videos is based on recent research, and there's a references page available for each if you want to read more deeply. One thing you should know is that if you taught during the emergency remote learning phase of the pandemic, you were being asked to fly a helicopter, and you did it. So deep breaths. We all got there. If you have questions, you can find me at elizabeth.kauser@learn34.com. And if you'd like to see the references for any of these videos, they should be in the comments underneath the video itself. Thank you.